So hello everyone again, and welcome back to Founder Chats. So we have these chats every week at Volition where we talk to founders who've come through our pitch alumni, or who are one of our pitch alumni who have come through the pitch circuit. So Aaron is one of those, and we're going to dig into what he's building, what the last few months have looked like, what he's working on. I don't think that we've actually met in person because I believe you pitched in Vancouver. Was it in person in 2019? Was it?
It was in the January of
January.
2020. Yeah,
Perfect.
January, I think it was
Yes.
Jan. Yeah,
Yes.
but
So I
we
didn't get
we
to
have
meet
not met.
you.
No,
No. So it's lovely to meet you now. And
same
I've
here.
heard a little bit about what you're doing, but essentially, I'm going to, without any further ado, kind of hand it over to you so you can explain what Hitch for Women is, if that is if that's what you're calling it right now. I know there's been a lot of kind of things going on, especially in the last few months, figuring out all the things. So, which is, completely founder life. So talk us through.
Hitch for women.
Talk
It
us
sounds
through
so
it.
funny. I would have never. Yeah. So I'll start with the Hitch for women. So it was last summer when, uh, during a period of 2 weeks, I met a few friends, and they were like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I've made this switch to coach women," and they're like, "Oh, you're like Hitch. You're like Hitch." So it
Oh,
happened 4 times in the span of 4 weeks. I was like, "Oh, I think that's a great way to describe what I do. I'm just Hitch for women." So I did not choose that for myself. I was like, since
right,
people can relate to Hitch because of the movie with
right.
with
Will Smith.
Will
Yeah.
Smith. There you go.
Yes.
So that's how the Hitch
Okay.
for women came to be. And now
Okay.
how I got into this in the first place is a much longer story. So I will give you the 1 minute version
Yes. Tell us what it
of
is.
this. Yes. So what it is that up until 31, I'm now 33. I did not have my first girlfriend or
Right?
intimate re- relationship, and then at 31, that finally happened. But from 30 to at 30, I hired a coach of
Right.
my own. His name is Alan Roger Curry, and he transformed my life and the way I approached dating and relationships. I
Mm.
think that change, women in my circle, they picked up that I was now not the same guy.
So
And
interesting.
yeah, and then I have been pretty public with my desires to date and to explore non-monogamous relationships. I think
Right.
that built up a sense of trust with women. So starting in the fall of 2017, around once per month, I would have a woman from my circle be like, "Oh, we need your help. We need your help. We like this guy, but we don't know how to say it to him." Or we are going on lots of dates through apps, but the dates don't go far, and
Mm.
we aren't sure how to navigate this world. And
Right.
then and that just kept on going. And last summer, the turning point was when a friend, she voluntarily paid me. She said, "You're so good that I would like to pay you some money." And I was like, "Wow, this is this has never happened to me before." That a friend, she just paid me, and at that time I was doing sales. I was doing
Okay.
a commission-based sales for one other company, and that fell through. And I was
Okay.
like, I need to do sales for myself, and who should I serve? And I was like, oh, the women have made it clear that they want my help, so why don't I
Right.
make that my main business? So that's the whole story.
Interesting. So you provide
Yeah.
coaching. So do you have any coaching background, or has this been purely through going through your own coaching sessions and then building on that from lessons learned?
Yeah, that's so I haven't gone to the coaching school. I
Okay.
think I learned how to be good coach by being coached by my coach,
Right.
right? So my coach, I believe, is the best dating coach for men,
Okay.
and he was fantastic. I got the best results of my life working with
Yeah.
him, and so to me, I know that what he has created is extremely powerful, and the way he coaches is similar to the way I coach. So to
Right.
me, the coaching is more about getting people results, and it's not about going to coaching school.
Right.
I do believe that that will happen at some point when
Okay.
I want to raise my skill level. But
Yeah.
for now, the focus is on getting women results.
Right. And so what has that looked like? So this was kind of your first paid customer or paid client was last summer. So what has the last year looked like for you?
The last year has been deepening my own understanding of what I am doing and what is the best way to coach women. And I had one friend who was like she used to ask me for help every few weeks. I was like, you keep coming to me for help. Why
Yeah.
don't you work with me for 12 weeks and you only pay me if you get a result, right? So we work
Mm,
for 12 weeks and you pay me if you get your boyfriend. So
whatever your
her,
goal is. Yeah.
yeah, so the goal was defined to be a boyfriend, and that meant she had to verbally communicate with this man who she had been on at least 3 dates with and tell him, I would like you to be my boyfriend. So
Yeah.
the result did not happen, and but the 12 weeks of coaching did, and
Mm,
I saw the progress that she made, and I learned now at a very deep level from this one client what her main challenges were.
right.
So yeah, so now I'm much deeper into the exact process for future clients. So
Yeah.
the growth curve will be shorter than that client.
Right. Okay. So
Hmm.
is this kind of your new passion then? Do you really love doing this?
I think it's become my passion. I don't like the word passion, and
Yeah. Neither do I. Choose
yeah.
whatever word you want. The thing
I
you
think
love to
because
do with your time that you wake up in the morning, you're like stoked to do, you know?
I actually love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just love it.
Cool.
I think the danger with passion is that it can fizzle out as fast as it shows up. So to me, this is not so much of a passion as a quiet motivation, which I'm sure will
Cool.
go for the very long term.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
Okay, so we have a bit of
yeah,
a picture of how you got to where you are today, and you have that personal story of your own journey, which is very interesting. And I see we've had lots of people join, so thank you so much for
yes.
sharing your story as
Thank you,
well.
sir. Yeah, you're most
Um,
welcome. Welcome.
and thank you for everyone who's joined us here. So this is a interactive conversation. So if you
Yep.
are watching right now or later, please do send in your questions or comments. Otherwise, we're just going to have kind of an informal conversation going back and forth here. But let us know if you have questions. I mean, relationships, especially during the time of COVID that we're in right now, is obviously a very hot topic at Collision Conference last week in Toronto. This was something I was mentioning to you previously that came
Yeah,
up
yeah.
quite a lot.
Yes.
It was really interesting. So I would love to hear your perspective on what kind of trends you've seen. You talked a little bit about the use of online apps when we were talking back and forth in email. So just how has living in the time of COVID and even looking forward into the future, how has that impacted dating relationships? Have you seen?
Yeah, so the obvious one is that numbers have gone way up, of course, because now you're stuck. For me personally, I had sworn off to ever use an app, but I
Okay.
also
So on
decided to use them.
dating apps
I also
numbers have
decided to
gone
use
up.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've gone up. But the truth about apps is that their popularity does not have any indicator as to how effective they are. So to
Yeah.
me, just because something is popular does not mean that it is effective. And so to me, you can go on dozens and dozens of virtual dates. It does not mean that they will be quality dates and that you actually get what you want.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
virtual dating, that's really interesting because I did meet my husband on Tinder actually,
Oh,
but
okay. Cool.
my approach
Cool.
was always to look for someone who was laughing and made me think that they would be able to make me laugh and have fun.
Right.
So it
Yeah.
was a very different
Yeah.
approach than a lot of people take, and I think that's one of the reasons that we ended up working out really well. He's over there.
Okay, great.
That's why I looked over there. He's not listening though. I can I don't know. It's been a couple of years married now.
All right. Cool. Cool.
But so if you're entering the dating, or not even just entering, just you are dating right now and you're looking at those virtual dates, like I'd be interested if anyone who's listening, have you been on a virtual date? Or like the people you're working with, Aaron, or people you're talking to, what is that like, kind of having to approach this from virtual slash social distance
Mhm.
space? Do you have any
I
tips?
think, yes, I definitely have. So here, you cannot spend so much time doing small talk.
Yeah.
So when you meet someone in person, you can comment on the coffee you're drinking, or
Right.
how
Of course.
beautiful the trees are.
Yeah. The interior
So
design of the coffee
there you
shop. Yeah.
go, there you go. So you can waste a lot of time doing small talk, and sometimes the whole date ends up being just small
Mm,
talk. But
mm,
now you're face to face. You cannot move your body that much. So
right.
it's much more focused on the actual content
Right.
of the conversation. So I think
Mm,
it's it's very good that singles are now forced to actually speak about what matters
right.
uh, to them. And
Yeah.
for me, I went on my own first virtual date last
Right.
Friday. So for me,
Ah,
I don't recommend doing the apps. I highly recommend virtual speed dating, where you're
right.
live for these short 5 to 7 minute chats with members of the opposite sex or the same
Or
sex,
whatever.
because
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes you gain more direct experience, because swiping, you can be the greatest swiper in the world, but that
Yeah.
does not translate to strong conversational skills.
Yeah.
It just does not.
Yeah.
Those are two very different skill sets. So virtual speed dating builds a very valuable skill set of being live with someone
Mm,
and feeling nervous and stuttering. For me, I stutter naturally, but
yeah.
for some people, being nervous is fine. This
Yeah.
is life, and that's the way it is. So
Yeah.
I highly recommend virtual dating and not the apps.
Okay. All right. You heard it here, everyone. Virtual
Yes,
speed dating.
yeah.
And that's
Virtual speed dating.
it's actually something that I didn't, it wasn't speed dating, but again at Collision, they had like 3 minute conversations and then it would flip you to the next person. And
That's right. Yeah,
that was
yeah.
fantastic. Like it was actually quite addictive. I sat there for like 45 minutes just doing like 3 minute conversations. And you get really into things, right?
Yeah.
And you're like,
There
oh,
you go.
I see your interest is like the environment or whatever it happens to be, and you get quite into it. So and like a lot of them actually converted into conversations on LinkedIn, and like some really meaningful stuff have come out of that 3 minute chunk of time. So it's not speed dating, but it's very similar, and I assume, and so I could see
Super
how
similar.
that,
Exactly. Super
yeah,
similar.
I could see how
Oh yeah.
that
Oh
would
yeah.
be really great. Okay, so this is how
Yeah.
is this quite common then? Speed dating.
Yeah. Well, for me, yes, because that's
Okay, of
that's
course, yes.
my main mode to meet women for my personal life. And
Yeah.
for women I met in the past who have not been on a date for months or years, I would say if you want to change that in the span of 1 week, I will give you the names of the companies
Cool.
in Vancouver. There are, I'd say the main one is Speed Vancouver Dating.com. So this is
Okay.
some
SpeedVancouverDating.com. Okay.
dating.com. This is some
Fairly
free
straightforward
PR for
for
them.
them. Yeah,
Some free
exactly.
PR for, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think you'll meet at least five, and you can do the apps for months and not come close to meeting five people live on
Yeah.
one night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. So coming back to your business now that we have a little bit of your kind of thesis and the way you approach
hmm
dating, especially during these times, which is really important. Um, so one thing that I'd be curious about, so you're still a fairly new founder then. Is this your first business?
Um, I've tried a few things which did not work a
It
long term.
happens.
So he's
Yeah.
yeah. So no, this is it's not my first business
Okay.
endeavor, but this one feels like the first proper one,
Yeah.
if that
And
makes
it's,
sense. Yeah,
yeah, of
it feels
course.
like
Yeah.
yeah,
It feels like it fits and
there you
people,
go.
there's a
Yeah,
market there and you're getting to know the market, which it sounds like you're doing a lot of, you're learning a lot right now, which is
correct.
great. Um, so I'd be curious, what would be kind of some tips that you'd have for your peer entrepreneurs who are starting out or like you have maybe tried a few things and finally found this one that you love?
So what I've seen is that the biggest mistake that I made for the past 7 years was not focusing on a single target market
Right.
at a time, right? As entrepreneurs, we have this desire to serve as many people
Everyone.
as we can,
Yes.
and you just can't. And that was the biggest mistake. So now I'm still not super clear on my niche. I mean, it is women who want to work with a coach to help them find their ideal intimate life partner. But I still think that can be narrowed down
Right.
to a very specific type of woman. And I
Yeah.
think the first step is to focus on serving just them for a period of years, so that and that's still a pretty big market because there might be uh, thousands or hundreds of thousands in that very small niche, right?
Mm.
As the saying goes, the riches are in the niches. So
Yeah.
therefore,
The riches are in the niches.
which are
I
the
like that.
niches, yeah.
I like
So
that.
I think that's the biggest one. I think, and that's the most counterintuitive thing to learn
Yes.
because the desire is to serve as many people as we can and to go broad. But I think the if you want to grow fast and to grow deep and be profitable, you have to narrow your focus to one target at a time.
Right. Okay. That's fantastic advice because we see that all the time. I was just coaching someone and said, niche down. Like you have a very clear area you want to work in. Why aren't you saying that? And it's that fear of if I niche down, then then I'm closing myself off to opportunity, which is just not the case. So I
There you
think that's
go.
a
There you go.
fantastic piece of
Yeah.
advice. And something I didn't touch on, but I'd be curious, just like very quickly, if has we know what's happened with COVID and relationships and dating in general, but has COVID impacted you and your business in particular?
Certainly did. I now my main mode for marketing was going to in-person events. Now that
Right.
stopped.
Yeah.
My coaching was being done in person, and that stopped too. So now I had to move it all to the virtual virtual space, which
Right.
was new for me. So
Right.
yeah, that was the
So
biggest
what have
change.
you learned since making that switch?
It's actually better because now working virtually, we go deeper into what women want. I think that's the first
Mm,
step. The first step is clarifying what you want, and that's best done when you're speaking on the phone and looking at a Google Doc as I type out what women want, so they can
mm,
see what they want with words on a screen. So I think that's a very, very powerful model to start out with, because that's the first step of my method is
right.
defining what you want at a very, very, very specific level.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Is
it
that quite
worked out.
difficult?
It worked out.
Is that difficult? Do people know what they want?
They think
They think
they
they know.
do, but
Yeah, exactly.
but they actually
I was
don't.
gonna say, yeah.
They think they actually don't. They think they actually don't. They're like, oh yeah, we want a man who has a good career, but that's so vague. I'm like, what do you mean by he has to have a good career? It could mean so many things, so
Yeah,
many
yeah.
things. So you need to actually narrow it down and say, do you want him to be an employee, or do you want him to be an entrepreneur? Now you made it more specific, because those there you go, right? So
It's
to me, it's just about
it sounds
yeah.
like doing an ideal client kind of exercise.
Same. It's the same. It's the same. Because this is
This is the
probably the most.
sales
There you
background coming
go.
out.
There you go. Yeah.
Sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. That's okay. No, because uh, they aren't your client, but this is the most important person in your life.
Right.
Yeah, so to me, you need to put at least a few hours of deep thought,
Yeah.
and most women don't. Most women
Interesting.
don't, and it's not because they don't want to. I think it's mostly because they don't know how to.
Yeah, I don't think we're
Yeah,
really taught to either. Like, it's
no,
not something that people talk
no,
about at all,
no.
is really thinking about what it is that you want in life and how someone is gonna, align with that and help bring you along on your journey and vice versa and these kinds of things. It takes a long time to figure out, especially if you don't sit down and do a very intentional exercise around it, I imagine. So that's
There you go.
very interesting that you're doing that. And
Yeah,
I'm glad that it sounds like it's kind of been a positive experience then to have to go virtual and to realize that this is maybe that, well, do you think this will become normal for you then doing this part of it virtual?
definitely,
Very
definitely. I
cool.
think the first four sessions will definitely be virtual, because we are working on the level of the mind, right?
Yes.
So what do you want? So it's good not to have the distraction of the body and the faces there, because now you only
Right.
focus on your words and your language, because
Yeah.
the more I think you used one of my favorite words, which is intention, right? So
Yeah.
now when you see your words on the screen, that is your intention, and how clear you are will determine how that intention will manifest.
Mm,
So I'd say
cool.
my first few weeks or first few sessions will now always be virtual.
Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm coming into the last couple of questions here. So anyone,
Yeah.
again, if you are online here with us now, say hi. And if you have any questions for Aaron, do let him know, or any comments as well. I
Yes,
don't think,
please.
Aaron, do you have somewhere that people can contact you?
I'd say the best would be through Instagram
Okay.
message
Okay.
or LinkedIn message, because my website has not been a priority, and
Yeah.
it probably won't be until the fall, because I
Yeah.
think yeah, that's
I mean,
just,
you're still doing discovery and figuring things out. That completely makes
yes.
sense.
Uh,
It's, some people get really caught up in building their website
oh
before they've
yeah.
even figured out if anyone even wants what they're offering.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
So that sounds good. Um, okay. So
Yeah.
something that we always ask is, how can we, the audience, support you? So what is your ask of us?
My ask is to spread the word of my business. I am currently doing what I call free client conversation. So this
Yeah.
is a free 60-minute coaching session,
Wow.
and the goal is for me to actually to treat you as if you're my paid client.
Yeah.
So I coach you, and at the end of those 60 minutes, or at some point in between, if you want to speak about paying for my coaching, we can do that. But for me, this helps me understand women better and
Hmm.
help you gain that sense of clarity and confidence to now
Yeah.
meet the man or men of your dreams.
Or woman as well,
Or women as
or
well.
any
Yes,
or
women as
non-binary,
well.
whatever it
Definitely.
is. Yes.
Non-binary, whatever it is. Yes, yeah,
All the
yeah.
things. Yes.
There you go.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
cool. I love that. Okay, so my last question that I always like to ask is, what brings you joy right now? What is one thing that brings you joy?
I think I'm really enjoying my life on a daily basis now.
That's great.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
so.
I think everyone wants that, so
Yeah, I think so.
that's
I think
amazing.
I'm in a great point in my life. I know that the road ahead is challenging, but I'm not always focused on the future client, future sale. I think I have a good sense of where my future is going to go, but I'm much more grounded in the present, which feels great. There is no
Awesome.
constant pressure of sales and money and this and that. Is that so
Yeah,
that has gone away a lot
it's
in
amazing.
the past few weeks, which feels great. Which feels great.
Well, that's amazing. What's bringing you joy right now? Just my life, my everyday
Yeah,
life.
that's
That's
really
that's
exactly.
amazing.
Nothing too special or
I think
spectacular.
that's
I
pretty.
think
I think
this
that's
is
pretty
great. Yeah.
spectacular. So
Yeah.
I think that's spectacular. All right, so I know we just had a couple people join us. So everyone who just joined us, we're just
Hello,
wrapping up.
hello.
But say
Great.
hello, and our this video will be live on our IGTV. We'll also make sure it's on our YouTube channel within the next week. We'll post this on LinkedIn, on Instagram, in all the places, so you can watch back and learn more about Erin and about Hitch for Women and about dating. I love how the name of your company always makes you laugh.
It does. Like, yes, I would have never dreamt that this would ever be my business, Melanie, given that I had my first girlfriend at 31 years old, and now I'm coaching women.
You never
It's,
know where life's going to take you.
I know,
And
I
this is
know.
amazing
Yeah,
thing with entrepreneurship too. And I'm
yeah,
happy that
yeah.
after trying out a few different businesses, you found one that brings you joy, and that
Yeah.
you seem to really love. And so watch back if you want to see what Aaron has to think also about dating relationships in the time of COVID, about speed dating, which he highly recommends,
Hmm.
and about so many other things. And his tip as well is fantastic around making sure that you figure out your niche market, which is very, very good. So make sure to
Absolutely.
watch it back if you haven't
Yes.
been with us this whole time. And then you can find Aaron on Instagram or on LinkedIn. So Hitch for Women
Correct.
on Instagram, and I assume it's your full name, Aaron DeSouza. Am I saying that
All
correct?
right.
Correct.
D'Souza. D'Souza.
D'Souza. Okay.
D'Souza, yes.
On LinkedIn, so you can connect with
LinkedIn.
him there. And he's looking for people who are interested in having 1 hour kind of discovery or conversations to learn more about themselves and what they want in their dating and relationships. Am I saying that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
complimentary right now because
Great.
he's learning.
Complimentary.
So
Correct.
fantastic. Is there anything that you want to close on before we leave, Aaron? Did I leave anything out?
I I wanted to thank you
Of
and
course.
the team so much. I think the main challenge for new entrepreneurs like myself is to gain visibility, right? People need to know that you exist. So both the pitch that I did in Jan and this has been a great help, and I'm very grateful for that. Very grateful for that.
Amazing.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
we're very happy to have you. So keep us updated, and everyone will let you know what Erin's up to. So
All
thanks
right,
everyone for
fantastic. Thank you so
coming.
much,
If
Melanie.
you post after we've posted, if this is on IGTV and you're posting, we'll check the comments and we'll pass on any questions you have to Erin. So we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Erin, for coming.
See you, Melanie. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.